I'm Dustin O'Hanlon from O'Hanlon Seed and Irrigation in Lexington, Nebraska, and I love agriculture.
So I'm Kory here, and we are here today with O'Hanlon Seed. We've had the pleasure of interviewing your team. This is Dustin O'Hanlon, the owner of the company, and just grateful for this time with you this morning, sir. It's awesome to come back and to revisit your team, because you guys have been customers of ours for 2 seasons. I think you've gotten through 2 seasons, right?
Two full seasons now.
Yeah, and that's awesome. It's awesome. One of the things that we're trying to do, Dustin, is like come out into this area, right? Midwest farming community. You know, there's a lot of highlights out there. When you look at social media, you see a lot of the farmers out harvesting the crop and everything. And you know a lot about that, and we would really love for just like a full overview of what your business actually is. It's more than just center pivots. I mean, obviously that's why we started our relationship, but maybe just a rundown of exactly what you guys do from start to finish as a O'Hanlon.
Yeah, so within O'Hanlon Seed, we started back in 2005, just selling seed for farmers, corn and soybeans, a little bit of alfalfa, and took an opportunity to see that there was a need, so we started doing some custom work, custom drilling alfalfa. Then along comes cover crops. Started getting into cover crops and noticing that, that continued to grow, and even field services started growing. So we got into a lot more of the custom work, and as we kept moving forward into the custom stuff, we saw the need, to help farmers out with irrigation. And growing up as a young kid on a farm and watching everything, I could see there was definitely a need for that in this area. So we started up O'Hanlon Irrigation, and now since 2005 to today, we've got this huge monster, and we just keep taking care of farmers, and it's great. I look back when I first started with 2 employees and now up to 20, and we, as of today, here we are in Lexington, Nebraska, but we've got drills scattered from Mullen, Nebraska to south to Arapahoe, which for us makes it fun because we're seeing so many different growers across the whole entire area of Nebraska and parts of Kansas, that we just get to see so many different things. So then that brings value back to growers that, for our broad base, we can give them more information and more things for them.
That's awesome. Now I'm going to tell you, I want you to think of that user out there, or that viewer out there. You said custom work, and I understand it because I understand your business, but explain exactly what that means. If I don't know anything about planting a crop or whatever, just maybe just a glimpse of what that's like for what you do.
Yeah. Exactly. So to give you just a quick rundown for our customers. So we offer seed at O'Hanlon Seed. We offer irrigation, for water in the crops. And if you haven't seen, it's the center pivots that go around. But not only that, we do, it could be some of the tillage work. So getting the field prep for whatever is going to be planted in it, whether it's corn, soybeans, or maybe it's a crop that a grower doesn't have all the time that he needs to be able to put it in. So we'll come in and help plant that corn or plant the soybeans, drill soybeans, drill a cover crop, which a cover crop's, utilizing the nitrogen that's left in the soil, holding it there, so that way next year's crop can utilize that. The other thing is just helping out the environment, keeping the dust from blowing, keeping that ground covered, keeping our microbial activity, the little tiny bugs in the soil that are great, keeping those alive, so that way they can help us grow more bushels for next year. And everybody kind of gets worried about sustainable agriculture, but there's some great things with cover crops. We're using that carbon that's left up in that air, putting it back in the soil, and utilizing that to keep it there for fertilizer for the crops the following year. Our job, it's kind of funny. Everybody asks, well, how many times do you guys are in the field? We're in the field 11 months out of the year. January is probably our only month because usually it's so dang cold and frozen, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, we're running as hard as we can 11 months out of the year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's the piece of it, right? It's like, I've been using this term lately, that you guys are like the ninjas in the background. You're not even seen. I mean, it's like the only reason that these crops are doing as well as they're doing, and the reason is because of all that you just said. I mean, there's science in this. There's so much to keeping the soil the right way. And then, of course, in this weather climate that you're in, I mean, it's humid, but it can dry up pretty easy, right? So you need those pivots to run, and you guys got to be there on time. And
well, and anymore in agriculture, it's costing more and more every year to grow a crop. Just in the landscape what we're in. But the other thing you got to look at is, as for the United States, I think our average grower is 65 years old. So our age group is really changing. So being able to do some of the work that maybe they were able to do 25 years ago, they're not able to. Yeah. So that's where we come in and offer that opportunity to, we'll use it on the pivot side. A gearbox weighs 75 to 80 pounds, and it's 500 yards out in the middle of the field. Somebody's got to carry it in. And that's where we come in and we help out. Same thing on planting crops. I had a conversation with a grower that was 84 years old. His first tractor cost less than $1,000.
That's great.
And today these tractors are $450,000.
Yeah.
Planters are up to in the 200 plus range. But there's so much more technology, and small growers or a type of grower may not have that opportunity for that technology. And that's where we come in and we can help them out with what we do. We've got the best technology that's there to give them an advantage to having higher yields.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we want to do is, and we've been doing as much of this as we can, is we're going to catch your pivot span over here at the front of your shop and get some footage of that. And we like to associate that with exactly what you do. You're a Zematic dealer, and there's other brands out there, but that's who you guys take care of, and you service everything, as if I would understand, right? I mean,
we service everything. And when I say at O'Hanlon Seed and O'Hanlon Irrigation, if it deals with agriculture, we're in the middle of it.
We're right at it. Yeah. So with that being said, and everything you're talking about, I mean, what do you love about your job?
My number one thing for me, it would be the people. I mean, the people and watching crops grow. Mm-hmm. And when you can go out there and you've got a guy that you've helped, and here we are getting close to the harvest season, and we're right in the middle of harvest, and you see the smile on their face of going, wow, we finally raised a crop that we were looking for, or those things. Or if we were in a situation, in our area, we had a lot of hail. The be able to take that stress away from that grower and say, hey, all right, these are the things we can do. Let's look at this and see what we can do to make maybe a bad situation a better situation. And that's probably my favorite thing. I wake up every morning and I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to see farmers. I'm excited to see agriculture and just be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, and you have an amazing team.
Yeah.
To be sit down with your team this morning, and just know that those guys, you put a lot of trust in those guys, and they're running around with your name on the side of that vehicle, and they're putting their best foot forward, and and talking to them this morning, it was incredible. It's a great group.
I'm very fortunate to have a team that I always say it, we give 120%, and everybody goes, well, how do you give that extra 20%? It's that smile on your face and taking care of the grower and letting him know that you're there for him. Yeah. And if we do that every time, then everybody's happy. Yeah. And that's a great thing, to see a team that wants to come to work and wants to take care of people. Irrigation is not the easiest job. Yeah. Like we talked about, carrying gearboxes, walking into a field, it's never going to be dry. That's the whole thing is you've got to keep that running around, and if it's dry, then that's not a good thing. So it's wet, it's muddy, it's miserable, but the guys love doing it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and it takes, that's what I was trying to highlight with them, so that people kind of get a better picture of, what's going on in a town like Lexington, and a business like this is a big piece to that you know, to that puzzle. And really, you know, how many farmers you're taking care of, how much, you know, land you're actually overseeing, how many acres of land that your guys are covering to get a pivot to run or you know, stand on top of that. It's a big deal.
Well, it's extremely, you know, what I've always told people that are not in agriculture, you take a small town like Lexington, 85% of this community comes from agriculture.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's buying vehicles, whether it's buying food at the store. I mean, most of that is all coming from some type of agricultural pay to support a community. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. I've lived in, you know, small town America, the Panhandle of Nebraska, but then you know, currently we're back in the, you know, the city life in Castle Rock. But you know, it's just one of those things where I say that from there, like all these people eating these foods, you know, and all the fuel and everything that, you know, that's coming out of our own country that's doing that process, right? So we just want to bring a little glimpse of what it is that we do and take that out to the world. And you know, who all is going to see it, we don't know. We're just glad that you're willing to talk to us about it. Am I missing anything, sis? Or anything?
He does outside.
Oh yeah, so outside. Well, you know, 11 months. You've only got 1 month that you get to do anything. So what do you do in that month? But really, what is your outside of work kind of?
And I'll say it this way because about 15 years ago, I had a gentleman ask me. He goes, "What do you have for a hobby? What do you do for a hobby?" And I looked at him. I said, "This is what I do for a hobby. This is what I love to do."
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of hobbies. I love to hunt. I love to be in the outdoors. Fish. I wish I had more time to fish, but I don't get much of it. And I love shooting sports. That would be one of the top things. And other than that, just taking care of agriculture.
Yeah.
If I get a chance to get in a tractor, it's like playing in a toy box with my Tonka truck.
Yeah. So your best hunt? What's your most prized hunt?
I went down to Fort Stockton, Texas, a couple years ago, and went on an aoudad hunt, and that would have been my top.
Yeah.
Yep. I love to do a little bit of coyote hunting, and there again, it's helping farmers take care of predators that are causing problems with the cattle. But other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, they released wolves.
I heard that
in Colorado.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're relocating them already.
Are they?
They're eating so many cows. It's like, I don't think this is paying off. This isn't going to work. They see a cow as a pretty easy target.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm guessing.
Dude,
thank you guys.
Oh, man, thank you. Yeah, that was good.
I might have done these a time or two. Just make them. Yes. Hello. Everything's really good.
You should get that on the bloopers. I hope you did.